I was able to learn a lot, and found a lot of people at my community college that were willing to see me do well and wanted to see me do well. And I'm really thankful for that community that I found there, and they were really instrumental to me transferring into San Jose State. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Also, I like to laugh, so I always like to hear a good joke. So like Elisa said, whenever we come back onto campus or something, just if you have a good joke, feel free to tell me it.
Gracias, Steven. And now we'll turn it over to Nicolas.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Nicolas, pronouns he, him, his. I'm a first-gen transfer student. I actually transferred from San Jose City College, so I am local to the area where San Jose State is located. I am in my senior year, getting ready to graduate. I've been with Centro for about 2 years now as a student success leader. I'm very happy with the work that we've done here, and really excited to kind of share a little bit more about with you all what college is like at San Jose State. Thank you.
Gracias, Nicolas and Steven. And we will be hearing from them here shortly when we engage them in our panel. But before we actually get you to watch our quick overview of Centro, I would love for you to engage us in a quick poll. We understand that some of you have maybe not made your decision yet about attending San Jose State, but we hope that after today's presentation, I know it's we hope we can inspire you and influence you to make your decision to be a Spartan. So if you have decided to attend, we're curious to know, how are you feeling about starting San Jose State in the spring 2021? I know, are you excited? Maybe you're curious, especially if you're trying to figure out how is this whole online learning going to work, especially in a bigger campus at a new school. Maybe you're feeling a little nervous, maybe a little anxious, or maybe indifferent. You're like, I don't really know. So I'll give you a couple of minutes just to let us know, a couple seconds, just to let us know how you're feeling, and then we'll share the results here with you shortly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the results, and let's see, 33% of you are definitely curious. I'm not surprised. I know that you probably have a lot of questions regarding how is this going to look like, but I'm also happy to see that many of you are excited, and it's completely normal to feel anxious and nervous, especially as you're thinking about transitioning to a new school, and again, in this virtual environment. So thank you so much for engaging us in that quick poll. Now I'm going to go ahead and have you watch a quick video to learn a little bit more about what we do at Centro. Bienvenidos to San Jose State University. On behalf of the Chicanx Latinx Student Success Center familia, we welcome you, your family, and your friends. I'm excited to highlight the various ways the Chicanx Latinx Student Success Center, also known as Centro, supports Latinx students at SJSU. San Jose State University is a Hispanic-serving institution with 27% Latinx undergraduates enrolled full-time. This is an exciting time for our campus as we continue to expand educational opportunities for Latinx students. Centro strives to be aware of and responsive to the unique needs of Latinx student community. We are fortunate to have a strong, united, and dedicated team of students, staff, professors, alumni, and local community members who collaborate to find new and effective ways of supporting Latinx students through their undergraduate journey and beyond. Centro's mission is to offer programming and support services that are intentionally designed for Latinx students. As a result, we provide spaces that affirm our students' intersecting identities, validate their academic capabilities, develop their leadership skills, and foster healthy relationships, all while promoting civic and community engagement. All of you bring a wealth of knowledge, skills, abilities, and talents from your family and home communities that have helped you to get to where you are now. Our goal is to help you build upon these many strengths you already possess and assist you in reaching your personal and academic aspirations. So let me take a few minutes to highlight how we can support you, especially during your first year at our campus. To begin, we invite you to meet our team that includes our program coordinator, student success leaders, faculty fellows, and myself. You can find us inside the main floor of the Diaz Compian Student Union, which is right across from Jamba Juice. Unlike other programs, there's no application required to be involved with us. You just need to walk right through our front door and you will be greeted by one of our team members. We do our best to make you feel welcomed. We treat everyone like familia. One of our team members will ask that you sign in upon arrival. After doing so, they may engage you in conversation to learn more about you, your interest, and answer any immediate questions you may have. We know how busy our students are and the amount of time it takes to get around campus. This is why Centro has created a one-stop shop, if you may, to offer services we know are instrumental to student success. Now, let me highlight a few of these support services and opportunities for you. One of our most utilized services is the Centro space itself. It's a great space to study, take a break in between classes, have your lunch, and build community with peers, staff, and professors. If you're lucky, you might even get a free lunch if it happens to be one of those days we hosted an event, because we all know that comida brings community together. Secondly, our student success leaders and in-house professors, known as faculty fellows, hold weekly office hours inside Centro. You can access them on a drop-in basis. The success leaders can help you explore campus life and the various ways to be involved and feel better connected. Given their own experiences as Latinx students at SJSU, the success leaders offer tips and strategies that they have found to be helpful in navigating the university, especially as it pertains to the unspoken norms and expectations. They can also refer you to a specific staff member or professor for additional support and offer to walk you to their office location so you don't feel pressure to do it alone. In fact, we have many professors in addition to our faculty fellows who also hold office hours at Centro. From computer science to Chicana and Chicano studies, professors are interested in connecting with you. When meeting with our faculty fellows, you will learn about effective academic skills and strategies, such as time management, tips on how to develop positive connections with all of your professors, information on graduate school, career paths, undergraduate research, and other opportunities related to your goals. A regularly used service is academic advising. In partnership with the College Student Success Centers, you can connect with an academic advisor inside the Centro to receive guidance and support with any questions related to your academic progress. Not only do they ensure you are taking the right set of courses towards your degree, but they are essential connections to other opportunities that can support your personal, academic, and career-related needs. You can meet with the academic advisors on a drop-in basis, no appointment necessary. Now, balancing work, school, and other responsibilities is a reality for many Latinx students at SJSU. Your overall well-being and mental health is important to us, and this is why we've partnered with the Counseling Psychological Services Department, also known as CAPS, to offer personal counseling to help you better manage your mental, emotional, and behavioral well-being. Students who have met with our CAPS liaison have expressed feeling better equipped to manage their academic performance. Our liaison also holds group counseling meetings and offers various workshops to meet Latinx student needs. Lastly, our Career Center advisor holds weekly drop-in office hours to assist you with building a resume or cover letter, mock interviews, major and career exploration, finding an internship or job, and learning how to network effectively. These are just a few of our most utilized services that we offer to support Latinx student success. Whew, that was a lot, right? But wait, there's more. Aside from our services, we also develop programs and events to engage our students and help them feel better connected to our university. Events such as our Fall Welcome, Student Leadership Retreat, our Faculty Student Dinners, and our popular end-of-year Pozole Study Night. That's right, we know that one hits the spot. These are just a few ways Centro creates opportunities to build community. Additionally, we can connect you to the many Latinx student organizations on our campus, such as MECHA, Grupo Folclórico Luna y Sol, Nuestra Gente, and the Latino Business Student Association, just to name a few. At this point, should you have additional questions for us, you may contact us via email or by visiting our social media accounts. One of our team members will get back to you as soon as we are able to. We invite you to be a part of the Centro community. We need you. Our students' contributions and presence is what makes Centro a unique and special place. Thank you for spending some time with me to learn more about the Chicanx Latinx Student Success Center at SJSU. On behalf of the Centro team, we wish you well, and remember, si se puede. Hola. All right, so clearly some things have changed since we made that video. Unfortunately, the Centro physical space itself is no longer open during this time. A majority of the campus is closed with a few exception of some buildings that are still open. And so for now, Centro is 100% virtual. And so I'm going to be able to let you know a little bit more at the end about the various locations that you can find us and how you can continue to stay engaged. So for example, are some of the services such as the career advising, the academic advising, being able to meet with Celinda, who's our CAPS counselor. They all have office hours and you can access them on a drop-in basis, and we'll share how you can access that information. Our events are also all online. Some are asynchronous and some are you can watch later. And so we will introduce our YouTube channel where you can watch some of those videos in case you can't make our events in person during that particular time. You can always access them afterwards. So please know that we are still here. We are still present. There are various ways that you can remain connected with us to access all of our services and our support. Now I'm going to turn it over so that we can hear a little bit more from our transfer students themselves. And I will turn it over to Elisa to ask them the first question. And please feel free to use the chat function as you're listening to them speak. If there's anything that resonates with you, feel free to make comments as well or include some thoughts in the chat. And if you have any questions, we'll be sure to answer those at the end during our Q&A. But please, you can use the chat function to engage us in that way. So I'll turn it over to Elisa.
Gracias, Lily. So next we will be doing a panel presentation with Stephen and Nicolas, both of our student success leaders, as they were both our transfer students, and they were, once in your shoes of coming into San Jose State and, having a lot of questions. And so, just want to tap into their knowledge and so that they can share some of those experiences that they've had with you all. So if you have any questions, throughout the presentation, or feel free to, add any reactions to anything they say using the reactions box down below. So I will start off with the first question, which will be, as a transfer student yourself, knowing what you know now, what advice would you like to offer to incoming students that can support their success at SJSU? And we could start with Nicolas.
Hey, how's it going? Whoops. Sorry. I clicked the other one. Anyway, so to answer the first question, I guess my solution to get is get connected. But more than just saying that, it's one, meet with professors. So every semester you'll have that opportunity to be in new classes, right? And often we might not have the we won't be used to actually meeting them at office hours, but get to know your professors. That's one. That's slowly building that network and community at campus, and I'd strongly believe that it's important for you. Also, depending on what the structure of your major is or the classes that you're taking, trying to plan study groups, even in Zoom. I know it might be a little bit different, but at least in my experience from within my major, I have a regular weekly meeting with a group of students, whether we talk about the subject, homework, or the assignments as a whole, or studying, but also, occasional conversation about how we're handling COVID and that kind of situation is definitely also a way that I feel supported, where I actually am starting to make new friends, even through Zoom. So I know it's possible. The other would be to actually challenge yourself to explore resources. So for me, in my role here as a Centro leader, student, I realized that some of the services would go unused for long periods of time. My first and second year here at San Jose State, and having met the people at Centro and all the other leaders, I realized that they would tell me so much of the things that were available to me, whether it was CAPS, student was the Health and Wellness Center. They told me about the food pantry, the food. San Jose State has a program with CalFresh as well to provide you free groceries. And so certain things were coming to light, and I realized that if I had really challenged myself early on to explore the campus and the resources, and that advice holds true today. I definitely feel like even through Zoom, each org on campus is doing something to really help us. And as a new student or new transfer student, that possibility is still open. And I definitely would encourage that. And I think that would really make it a successful student here at San Jose State. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Nicolas. You know, kind of just to like reiterate what he said, going back or looking back, you know, one of the first things I would say too is like Nicolas said, is like go to as many events as you can. You know, I first transferred to San Jose State last year. So when I first got on the campus, you know, my mindset was kind of like, you know what, I'm just, you know, I need to be here. I need to grind. So I'm just gonna do my work, study, you know, just like really try to be a good student. And you know, the first couple of weeks that kind of worked out, but then like I started feeling like, you know, like not, I wouldn't say lost, but I felt like a disconnection to the campus. So like I wanted to like get rid of this feeling, you know, maybe I was homesick, you know, I wasn't sure what was going on. And so I joined some clubs, some group, and then that's where I started meeting like-minded individuals, and then they were putting me onto other resources, and then I just started attending, like it just started like a snowballing effect. So attend as many events as you can. Like Nicolas said, like not only was attending these events putting me in a position where I can meet new people, it also showed me everything that San Jose State had to offer, like all the resources. Like he said, like it took me maybe like halfway through the semester to realize like literally everything that San Jose offers to you as a student already. Like there's so many programs that you don't have to pay out of pocket for, you know. So it's just, it really helps, and you being one, it gives you a sense of community, being one with the campus, and it really highlights everything that there is to offer at San Jose State. And another thing is, you know, transferring in itself is an achievement. And so like, so I know sometimes this happened with me, I was kind of laxed in my energy when I got to San Jose State. I was like, okay, you know, I survived community college. I finally was able to transfer, you know, something I've been thinking about for a long time, you know, and I was like, oh, I can like, you know, I can take it easy, so to say. And so like, kind of in the beginning of the semester, I struggled a bit just because I thought like, oh, you know, I already made it to the top, you know, I don't need to like work as hard anymore. So one thing I would want to like, as a good piece of advice is like, keep that same energy, you know, like, I know all of you worked really hard to get here, to be able to be in a position to transfer to San Jose State. So just keep that mindset going, and don't get complacent in your energy. Don't get complacent in your studies. Meet with the professors when you can, you know, like not even when you're struggling, you know, try to schedule like bi-weekly appointments with them, and try to set, like Nicolas said again, like study groups with your peers. It really helps out, especially, you know, when you have questions or like you didn't have time to like talk to a professor or ask a question in class. Study groups played an essential role in being able to like help with the class and meet new people as well.
Thank you so much, Nicolas and Stephen. I think both of you really were very clear about the importance of making connections. And we know that that could seem overwhelming, especially as you start at a new campus. So we want you to see Centro as the one-stop shop to be able to make connections across campus to various people and resources. That's something that we do pride ourselves in. We like to see ourselves as connectors, and not just connectors to resources, say a department, but people. Like, who are the people that we trust, that we know can care for you and will take care of you and address any of the issues that you may be bringing up, or just how are they going to support you? And so one of those connectors, I'm going to put her on the spot here. We have our admissions director, Diana Gonzalez, who's also joined us this afternoon to be here to help answer any questions related to admissions that you might still have. But Deanna has been an amazing colleague of ours, and she can definitely be a great person to connect with as you think about starting your new journey here at San Jose State. So we wouldn't just say, go to admissions. We would say, no, you need to go and talk to Deanna Gonzalez, la mera mera over there, right? So Deanna, do you want to share just a couple words and introduce yourself?
I think those questions that are on the screen right now, I can totally relate to. many moons ago, like back way back way, when you guys weren't even born. I was a transfer student from De Anza College. So
Hey, we're De Anza.
I was excited. I was anxious and certainly not sure that I was in the right place, but I always knew that I wanted to go to San Jose State. And I call it my backyard university, and because I'm right here in Sunnyvale. And so I grew up in the area knowing very well that I would end up at San Jose State. And so happy that I did, because here I am, the director of admissions, and certainly can help you. And if you need any help tonight, I'm here to answer your questions.
Thank you, Deanna. And yes, as Deanna mentioned, there are a lot of staff and faculty that actually are Spartans themselves. Many of them are also first in their families to go to college. So definitely experts in knowing how to navigate, the system, especially if you're a first gen student, and definitely knowing that many of them attended San Jose State too. Well, that leads us to the next question. Both of you talked a lot about resources, and you got to get connected, got to talk to your professors. But can you share with us and with everybody here today, what campus resources specifically have you each used the most, and how have those resources been beneficial to your success? So we'll start with Nicolas.
So let's see. Well, with everybody that's on the call or in the Zoom, so each one of you will have a major that it falls under a college. My major is industrial design. It's part of the humanities and arts college. And so my biggest kind of thing this semester, because everything is virtual, is I've been tuning into the emails that have been sent from them. They bring in a lot of panels, discussions about industry professionals. And so when it comes to the Zoom events that are available to us as San Jose State students, and the access that we get to some of the conferences that have been going on even through COVID, have been really beneficial, because since I am a senior, I'm looking for career opportunities and industry professionals to kind of guide that. So that's one really big resource, right? Your own college success center. The other one was been CAPS. Through all this pandemic and all the reading of the news and all that stuff that kind of goes, it kind of is draining emotionally, sometimes physically. So being able to have someone to talk to, Celinda, the Centro Comadre, as Lily would call her, is someone that usually I'll check in with either bi-weekly or every once a month. So that's about like 3 times in the semester. But conversations ranging about anxiety, stress for testing, or just checking in, following up with those emotions like a month later. And the reason why I bring that up is because Zoom is a different kind of platform, right? My major was very hands-on, building and making models. Lily knows about that. And so with the shock of, well, now you're sitting down for 6 hours, 8 hours a day, it's a little draining, but I feel like I'm being heard and someone's there looking after me. So those two have been very essential. I know in my role, I work with mentees that are freshmen straight from high school. And so I've been guiding them and supporting them through their first semester here. And I've definitely made a point to encourage them to visit Peer Connections. This is another opportunity for them to get tutoring and assistance for and lower class GEs. And so that's definitely one that I recommend to them. Also, when it comes to finding their own college success center, and definitely at one point it would have been, check out Centro, check out the African American Black Student Success Center, the Undocky Spartan Center, other resources that are there for students that would identify in those categories. They're still active, they're still going on. Zoom's definitely allowing them to do their own events and programming. And I think it's really important. And so for me, in my experience, that's really brought benefit. And also, it's just being mindful about the time that that is being used online. I know Zoom is kind of the thing that everybody uses. So if you're in community college right now, you have some experience with it. And you also want to make sure that you're taking breaks in between. So definitely being mindful of just kind of that. Thank you.
Gracias, Nicolás. Steven, same
Bus
question.
is completely free. And so that was really cool. You know, I used it to like explore the San Jose, Santa Clara area. In my first weeks there, I went to the San Jose Memorial Rose Garden, so that was pretty cool. I liked it. And to reiterate what Nicolás said, peer connections has been like the most beneficial thing for me. Coming, especially because like at my community college, we didn't have course-based tutoring, so it was just like you find a friend or find somebody that took a course and like hopefully they can like help you out on it, you know. But Peer Connections has tutoring specifically tailored for like your exact course, like your exact class. So utilize it. Try to make appointments early on before midterms or anything. Especially since it's with students as well. So it's like, you know, sometimes it may be kind of difficult to talk to a professor, you know, the way that they speak or like their level of understanding is like sometimes a little higher than what you're used to. So like it may make it difficult to understand what they're really trying to tell you. So just being able to hear some of this information or some of the topics from other students really helps out, and like it really makes it easy to absorb. And kind of similar to Nicolás said, like, you know, since I'm an engineering major, a lot of the stuff we have to do is very we have to show. So like we have to show a lot of work, you know, a lot of calculations, and that's hard to do virtually. So the Martin Luther King Library has a rental program where they rent out computers, hotspots, drawing tablets, so you can show your work in class. So that's another one I've used. I don't have it with me, but I was able to rent a drawing tablet. So it makes it easier, especially when you're like, when you get to like your upper division courses, you know, junior, senior year, you have to do, like Nicolás, you know, there's lots of projects and it's a lot of group work. And although like Zoom is like what we're using right now, it's you can only go so far with like talking, you know, so we have to be able to like present what we're trying to say, present what we're trying to do, present our work. So the drawing tablet really helps out with that. And yeah, that's a lot of the things I've been using recently.
Thank you. A wealth of knowledge here from both Nicolás and Steven. So our last question for you both is, how did you make new connections? So not only with students, but with faculty, with other staff members that have been really helpful to you as a student. And if you can think about one particular connection that you've made that really that surprised you, that has been really beneficial to you, if you can share that with us too, that would be great.
Do you want to start, Steven, or?
Sure, I'll take it. So kind of like what I said earlier, is just trying to attend as many of the events as you can, especially since, you know, I was talking with somebody about this the other day, and it's one of like most of the time, like when we're in person, a lot of like the most meaningful conversations are like those little sidebars you have, you know, like before or after a class starts. And like sometimes it's harder, especially in the virtual environment, to recreate that. But going to these events and like just being able to see other students, you know, who are interested in the same topics as you, or like are pursuing like similar goals as you, really helps out. Also, it's like a common trend that's been going on. We've been like, a lot of my courses, students, we start like a Discord group chat the day of class. So like the very first day of class, we usually start a group chat. So like it's our course specific group chat with all students. And like, that's like one of the best ways that like I've been able to like meet and talk with everybody. And it's not always, you know, it doesn't always have to be about school. You know, we can talk about like what we saw, what we've been doing, or, you know, like just like as a good space to like de-stress, you know. It's just like, I just had this hard final, you know, but like finally, you know, Friday's here, so I'm able to enjoy myself. And so sometimes like going to like professor, like I said, like sometimes speaking, like going to like professor's office hours, or like some students maybe feel a little nervous about it, you know. So like just being able to like do little things, you know, little things really help out, especially when like, since everything's Zoom. Like one thing that I always try to do is like, I found out it's been really helping me out, is just having my camera on. It's like just that little thing, like even if I don't talk like during like a lecture, just being able to have my camera on like really helps, like not just like me interact with my professor, but my professor, it makes it easier for my professor to interact with me. So he can like, they're able to recognize me quickly. And like, when I do go to office hours, it's more comfortable, it's easier to talk. And one of the, Lily wanted like a specific example. So I'm an engineering major, aerospace engineering to be specific, and like the Latinx representation in that field isn't as high as I like it to be. So this year I registered for a workshop class from one of my other classes to support it. And our GSI is our graduate student instructor is Latino too. Edgar, shout out to Edgar, you know. So like it's been really comforting to see him in that position. And like, you know, we also talked about like some of the things like he's had to go through. So like he helps me out with like grad school, you know, so because grad school is one of the things on my mind. And yeah, it's so insightful being able to connect with somebody at that position.
Thank you, Stephen. And before Nicolas, I have you answer, I think you brought up some really great points, especially about the importance of representation. So Latinx students, we're still underrepresented, especially in some of the colleges and some of the majors in the fields. So it's really important. That's why you're all here. We need more of you, more of us. San Jose State, I mean, we've definitely made strides. So now we're about almost 30% of our undergraduate and graduate students are Latinx. But we have a lot more work to do. And so please note that that's one thing that we are working on too, is making sure that you see more of the Latinx faculty and the staff that are here at San Jose State. And so many of them are our liaisons to our center, because representation matters. So thank you for bringing that up, Stephen. And I'll turn it over to Nicolas to answer the question.
Thank you. And for those that have the camera on, thank you. I appreciate it. I can see faces on the top. It makes a world of difference to see your reactions. But I agree, and I want to second Stephen's suggestions and how he went about that. So for me this semester, so it's senior project. I'll give you an example. It's 3 senior classes doing 2 individual projects and 1 group project. And I had postponed my year. So like the cohort that I was with had already graduated, and I had delayed my graduation for a year. So now I'm in another cohort with a lot of students that I have never really worked alongside with. And much like how some of you will transfer, hopefully, to San Jose State and will be with a new set of students, I try to just face the challenge head on and be as personable as flexible as I could with my teammates. So I have 2 teammates that I have met this year. I've never really worked with them ever. We're in the same major, but we do have meetings once a week. We meet at least once, but hopefully 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And that's really helped me feel like it's a normal semester. It was a little awkward at first working with new students, talking to them, but one of them's a mom and one of them is about my age. And so that was really cool. It's something that I definitely would encourage you to do. So whether you do or don't have projects like the one that I'm mentioning, maybe it's just you forming a study group, or maybe you making that extra Zoom call on a random Friday afternoon if you don't have class. An example of that, and I have now 2 teammates that's at the end of the semester, and it's been a joy having working with them. And I definitely see how different students work within the same major. Their drive is the same as mine. We're all trying to graduate. Also, meeting a really professor that I had never met, surprisingly. I've been at San Jose State for 4.5 years now, since I transferred in 2016. And it's been really interesting because now that I am getting ready to graduate, I did what I preach, right? Centro teaches you to, meet faculty that you may not have a class with, but maybe have an interesting story or something that you can relate to. And so this semester I met a professor. His name is Chris Whitmore. He's had like 25 years of experience as an industrial designer. He's done a bunch of work for different design studios that designed everything from like early days of Apple to Windows to Logitech and all that stuff. And it's someone that, yes, of course, he doesn't look like me. I am brown, Latino, and he's not. But that didn't let me stop to make a new connection and someone that I feel has brought a lot of value and a lot of insight into my college experience. And now that we're in the last, I believe, 2.5 weeks less before our final is due, he's now kind of going on tangents, and our conversations are about professionalism, how it is to get clients, how his experience has been navigating and in the design world. And it's really something that I value, because early on the conversations were awkward. I was scared. I felt intimidated. But he's a professor that I just so happen to have this semester, and I feel like I'm really creating a genuine connection where I feel he is he currently works part-time on campus as a faculty, but then also at a design studio, and he's extended to our team that opportunity to apply for a possible internship. And so that's something that I feel may have happened because as a team we were going above and beyond the call of just having those conversations in Zoom. And that for me is really something that I do value, and I really do appreciate, because it's at Centro that I kind of learned those skills where, you know, it might be intimidating at first to have a conversation during office hours with your professor, but over time you start realizing that it's actually pretty fun, right? They're just as interested in helping you succeed as you should be, to getting to know them a little bit. And so that's something that I've really valued this semester. And headed into my senior year, I'm very excited about it. And as for faculty, yeah, working at Centro, you meet a lot of faculty. I've never taken classes with them, but I can only imagine how fun it could have been to have had a Chicano studies class, possibly an engineering class with a professor. Was it Benjamin? I call him Benjamin. Ben Reed. He's in the College of Engineering. Super great guy, but I've never taken a class with him, but he's someone that to this day I still kind of find interesting that I have in like my network, all because I work at Centro. And so I definitely feel that if you do decide to go to San Jose State, the possibility is still there to make valuable connections, to meet wonderful staff and students. But it also comes down to you, the kind of person you are, how comfortable you are in getting uncomfortable. And so I'll leave it with that. I definitely am open to questions if you have any. I know there's some local students and some students that are kind of far away. So I definitely feel that we're all in the same boat when it comes to Zoom, the dreaded Zoom. But if you are willing to accept the invitation to attend San Jose State, I definitely feel like you would benefit from it, from both our faculty, our staff, and the students. I think we have a lot to offer, even through the pandemic. I feel like it's the right choice. So thank you.
Thank you both. If everybody here can give Nicolas and Stephen a Zoom round of applause for sharing their insight and their experience with us. And I know that there are some questions in the chat, so we're going to go ahead and transition to some Q&A. So I'll read some of these questions, but definitely feel free if you want to ask and unmute yourself. You can also ask some questions along the way. So the first question that we have is from Alondra. Alondra wanted to know if there are any hangout sessions with us, especially to feel connected, especially right now during the pandemic. So Alondra, the answer is yes. Especially our student success leader. So Stephen and Nicolas are just two of our student staff, but we have 3 other students, Yesenia, Ashley, and Edwin. And they are starting in the spring semester, they're going to be holding what are called pláticas. And so these are very informal, just hangout sessions, come together. What are you all up to? How's everyone doing? Get to know each other, build community with one another. And we stagger them throughout the week. So I believe, Nicolas, correct me if I'm wrong, last semester, we had them like Monday through Thursday, somewhere in the morning, somewhere in the afternoon, because we were conscious of people's different schedules.
Yes.
But do you want to speak more to those, Nicolas, with the pláticas and how those went?
Oh, yeah. So as a result, right, last spring semester was a little bit abrupt, right? We were under the impression that come spring break, this pandemic would pass. When we clearly saw that it didn't, we saw the need and the opportunity to have a community. And so we'd invite anybody, of course, you know, that is enrolled to San Jose State, and you register and you get the link, so that as no unwanted just kind of like bombings would happen, like, right? But all in all, the conversations would be about anything and everything that you'd be interested in, whether it was information about how to navigate campus, resources, or or if it was the end of the semester registration for the next year for summer courses. I think at one point it was also just about how we were all dealing with the early stages of the pandemic. Some of us were moving out of our apartments, some of us were moving into our families. And so it was also just having that conversation of venting, like, what's your experience being in quarantine, right? You can't go anywhere. Or I think also for me personally, it was just staying in touch with the friends that I did have at Centro. So it was just hearing them out. I don't think I shared much about the early stages, other than I was just kind of like startled, but just hearing them out and just kind of tuning in and made for me to feel more like at ease of like, oh, my friends are doing well, right? Like I'm keeping up to date. And then also just meeting new students. We had a couple students that were that had just began their grad program, so the graduate students, and then just also offering them kind of the ways that they could get involved. So the Platicas are really just open-ended. They're sometimes funny, sometimes they're a little bit serious, sometimes they're very productive, sometimes they're really not. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just that.
Thank you, Nicolas. Alondra, I hope that answered your question in terms of the hangout sessions. Definitely for us, building community and creating community, especially during this time, is definitely a priority. So thank you for your question. And I love your background, by the way.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Nicolas, for answering. It's, during a pandemic, it's really hard to connect. So it's really excited to see other people that isn't just in my pod. So I'm excited. Hopefully we can connect the following semester and create great relationships. So thanks again for answering the question. I appreciate it.
Thank you for asking, Alondra. I think there was someone else. Okay. Paul had a question, and I'm going to turn this over to Stephen if you can answer this one, which is, were there any shocks academically, socially, et cetera, that came with transferring to San Jose? And the second part to that question is, how did you deal with those?
Thank you. That's a good question. I would say one of the bigger ones was just like I mentioned earlier, it was when I first transferred in, I saw that the engineering field didn't have like a lot of Latinx representation. And so, at my community college, I was part of this program called MESA, where it was geared toward first generation students, like children of immigrants. So it was just like a good multi-ethnic group, program. And it was like really like, I felt really comfortable there. And so when I transferred to San Jose State, and then, I started going into my classes, it was, I wouldn't say it was difficult for me to connect with my peers, but it was just, it was different. And so I was like, I was trying to find a way in which I can connect with the campus better, connect with the school better. And so that's when, I first started joining, I joined a club. It was called Mecha. And then from there, I met somebody who went to the same community college as I did. And then that's where like I said, I mentioned earlier, that's where that effect snowballed, So to answer the second part, how was I able to deal with them? I started to seek out where I believed I could fit in, or where I believed I would find people that had common interests with me. And late in my first semester is when I first met or first started hanging out at El Centro. And I was like, oh, wow, I was like, this is a pretty cool spot. Yeah, I can't believe I've been here on campus for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and I never seen it. It is kind of tucked away. You really have to know where it's at. But yeah, so once I was able to find that community, once I felt like I had a real sense of belonging on campus, it just it really empowered me. And so that's where I really started to take off and really start to be really active in what was going on our campus. I was going to all these events. And so, yeah, I was just being able to, because everybody wants to, we want to be able to fit in, to be comfortable. And I was fortunate enough to have founded the Centro, which was able to provide that for me.
Thank you, Stephen. And I want to invite Paul, just make sure he answered your question. Is any other follow-up question that you had for them, or did that answer your question?
No, yeah, that answered my question. Just because well, I was mainly curious about that because coming from like a very small high school and then moving into college where it was more racially diverse, it was kind of a culture shock to me. So I wasn't really sure if that was like the same scenario going into San Jose State. Now it's a much bigger school compared to like my current school. And then learning that actually there's a kind of like underrepresentation of the Latinx community in engineering, which is the field that I kind of want to go into. It's kind of like mentally, like I'm starting to get more prepared as to what I'm supposed to be expecting and like how I can deal with those things now. Because like it does, but the school that I'm going to, it is majority of like Latinx community. And now knowing that Latinx community in San Jose is not the biggest group, it's I think it's like in the top 3 at the very least. I know that it's going to be a little bit more harder to start finding that group of people I can connect with, especially in my field. So it was the answer you gave was I appreciate it. It helped out a lot. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Paul. And that's why we purposely make sure that we bring in folks, knowing that our students in engineering are underrepresented. We want to make sure the resources are available and that you find those connections. So and I think Deanna had posted this in the chat earlier, we have academic advisor liaisons, again, that identify as Latinx from each of the colleges. So Jesus Santos is our academic advisor with the College of Engineering. And so he offers office hours through Centro. And I'm going to show you here in another minute or two how you can access that information and access Jesus's office hours. And you could always connect with him and he will give you a wealth of information of how to navigate the College of Engineering. We also, and Stephen, you can connect with Stephen more about this field, but there's also MEP, so the Multicultural Engineering program that you could be a part of, that also brings not only Latinx students, but students of color who are underrepresented in the field. So they do a lot of programming. So there's definitely resources out there. So thank you for your question. Evelyn had asked, how do I join the Centro Club? Are there any requirements? So unlike a student club, so we're not a student club, we're an actual San Jose State campus department. We do have Latinx student clubs on our campus, and we actually have a really close relationship with all of them, including our Greek life, so sorority fraternities. We do have some of them that are Latinx identified, and they do a variety of events also, and we connect with them and we collaborate with them on those. But because we are a campus department, there is no need to sign up. You just start engaging with us like you are right now. And you could follow us. I'm going to show you right now the different ways you can get involved. So it doesn't require any application process. You just, if you saw in the video, if we had the physical doors, we would just have you walk right in and be a part of our community. And so we're doing that now just in a virtual format. Isaac was asking if there are any scholarships specifically for our community that we can still apply to. And yes, Deanna just went ahead and submitted a link here. So our financial aid office is also the scholarship office. And so we have some on-campus scholarships that you will be eligible for automatically. And then there's other ones that are private scholarships. And if you go to that link, it'll give you the list of the different scholarships that you can check out. And also, and I'll show you here in a minute, through the Centro website, we've identified a handful of scholarships that you can apply to, including the semester in which they're due. And so I'll show you here in a minute where you can access some of those outside private scholarships as well. In fact, for spring semester, we collaborate really closely with two local community organizations. So one's the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley, and they offer, so Paul, write this one down, they offer a Latinos in Tech scholarship. And you can be eligible up to $10,000 a year through that scholarship, and it's renewable up to 3 years. So that's $30,000, which is a big amount of money. And they tend to offer up to 100 scholarships each year. And so San Jose, and I want to say maybe it was 2 years ago, we did a reception with them to recognize the San Jose State students that had received it. So definitely look into that. And then we also work closely with the Chicana Latina Foundation that's based out of San Francisco. And they also offer, that one's a $1,500 scholarship offered to folks that are in school right now. And so we actually invite both of them to offer information sessions. And so we're already planning those for the spring semester so that you could be a competitive applicant. So one of their members come to our session and they walk you through the whole process. So we will be holding both of those sessions in the spring semester. So just wanted to share information about that as well. So go ahead.
Just talked about that question too. Yeah, there's like lots of scholarships like outside of the school that we offer, and like we avidly like seek these out. And like I'm just curious, can they register for the OHO newsletter right now? Because I was gonna say we have a newsletter that we send out, and like we offer all of those opportunities on there.
Yes, so thank you so much, Stephen. Good segue. I'm
a recipient of the Latinos in Tech Scholarship.
Yay, Stephen. So I'm going to show you here the various ways that you can still be involved with us. So give me a second while I bring all of this up. Okay. So I'm going to start you off with our YouTube channel. So we started a YouTube channel. So as I mentioned, given this virtual new reality of ours, a lot of the events that we host are now recorded. And so if you couldn't make it for some reason, because it's conflicting with your schedule, you could always go back and just rewatch the videos. So you'll see all the different events and the recordings. Our student success leaders also create these videos so you can know more about them. So we call it the Gente del Centro. And then our students also hold workshops. So and some of you might already be experts in some of these topics, and maybe you're really great at time management and you want to work with us on developing your leadership skills. You can work with us on developing a workshop. So you could see here some of the student-led workshops. We had a few that were done last year. And of course, if you're thinking about graduate school, some of our faculty members led these workshops on how to prepare for graduate study. So our YouTube channel is one great resource that you can look to stay connected. This is the newsletter that Stephen was talking about. So we send out, this is our OHO newsletter, right? So in Spanish, OHO means I. This is a phrase that I grew up with. My mom would always say, Mija, keep an ojo for yourself and things that are around you. So keep an eye out. So we named it the OHO newsletter so you can be aware of the various opportunities both on and off campus. So we include information like important academic dates or registration dates and deadlines. We'll share a little bit more about the Centro programs and events, and with all the links, you'll see that that's now become a norm with all the links to register for those. Some of you, if you want tonight on our Centro YouTube channel, one of our events is right now from 6 to 7. That's why Lisa had to leave. This is in collaboration with one of our student organizations called Semillas, which focuses on making sure that we're representing our Latinx community from Central America. So this one's called Holding Each Other Tenderly, an open mic. So that's going to be tonight. So I invite you if you're interested in joining us tonight, and it has a featured poet. But this newsletter is a great way to stay up to date with all the different resources, the scholarships. We put information about job opportunities. So it's a very comprehensive newsletter. And you can sign up for the newsletter. You can even sign up for it now. This is our website. And if you go to, so it's on Chicanx Latinx SSC for Student Success Center. And Nicolas, if you can copy and paste and put that in the chat, that would be great. If you go over to events, you'll see that's the first place here, the first link, and you can sign up for OHO, and you'll be able to add yourself to our newsletter even now. So you can start being up to date with the different opportunities that we offer. We're also very active on Instagram. So we'll post everything from our events. We do, this is a campaign that one of our student success leaders hosted called Mujer Divina. So we identify and highlight amazing Latinas in the community that are doing great work. Some of our student success leaders are also doing a variety of campaigns. So Edwin is doing one called Ecuaciones, which is focusing on students in the sciences. But you'll see we have some videos introducing our academic advisor. So we're very active on Instagram. So you can follow us now, which is just Centro_SJSU. And once you are an SJSU student, which I think all of you here will become, when you become a Spartan, this is our Centro Linktree account, and this is where you can find all the links to access all of our services. So from our academic advisors, our career center advising, our CAPS counseling, all of our events, these are all active links, and that will help you register and easily access all of our events and our services. So that's just to give you insight to how you can stay connected with us. I know we are out of time, but if any of you still have questions, I'll be hanging out here if you would like to have any other questions answered. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Stay connected with us. I want to thank Deanna for allowing us this opportunity to connect with you all. And even if you choose a different school, you know, I wish you all the best of luck as you transition to your new journey. But we are still here locally in San Jose if you ever want to connect with us. So thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening.
Go Spartans.
Thank you.
Thank you.